What's going on, guys? Today we got an updated top 12 QB rankings for this upcoming season. Let's get right into it. All right, starting us off, our only S tier quarterback is Josh Allen. And as we've seen these last 5 years, really, Josh Allen has finished as a QB1 or QB2 in fantasy. So he's giving you that elite monster ceiling every season and then also that elite floor that these other quarterbacks aren't really giving you.
Yeah, the floor there with the rushing and the rushing touchdowns. In the past 3 seasons, we've seen him go 15 rushing touchdowns, 12, and now 14 this season. He's going to get there with the rushing touchdown, and he's pretty much the guy they look for around the goal line. He's always going to run a couple touchdowns in, and he's always going to be consistent throwing the ball as well.
He's a lock for QB2 and above for sure this year, like he is every year. And that's why he's in a tier by himself.
All right, and coming in, our only quarterback in the A tier is Lamar Jackson.
And I think by far Lamar Jackson has the highest upside out of all the quarterbacks in all of fantasy football. I love Lamar. I'm a big Lamar believer. I think he's the best quarterback in all of football. Basing off 2024, 2025 was a huge injury riddled season for Lamar, and I expect a huge bounce back under new OC Declan Doyle and a completely different team. The culture is different, and I truly believe that the Ravens will bounce back and Lamar will bounce back in fantasy as well, running the ball again like he did all in 2024, almost getting to 1,000 yards. I think we see similar to that. I don't know about 1,000 yards, but we'll see the rushing volume go way up again. And I think every year Lamar gets better as a passer, and that translates on the fantasy football field.
Yeah, the only reason for me why Lamar isn't an S tier quarterback with Josh Allen is because his floor is just nowhere near where Josh Allen's is. I mean, we've seen him last year. After that week 3 injury or week 4 injury versus the Chiefs, he really was not the same player at the end of the year, which definitely was because of the injury. But even with that, we saw his rushing yards per game drop from 60.5 to 26. So that is definitely something to be concerned about. I don't think he's losing a step, but he's definitely have going with less volume than he was in the past.
Yeah, the thing with Lamar last season is that hamstring. He was on the injury report about every single week with some different lower body injury, and that in a way cooked all of his rushing upside. Like we saw him go from 915 yards in 2024 all the way down to 350. Like that's not Lamar Jackson at all. And this is a he's in store for a huge bounce back.
Okay. And starting off our B tier, we got Jaden Daniels as our QB3.
So we saw Jaden Daniels, what he did in 2024, his rookie season. He averaged a little over 20 points per game playing all 17 games that year. And yeah, I mean, I don't see how he can't get back to that as he did 2 years ago. I mean, we know last year was injury riddled, rough year for the Commanders as a whole. They definitely should be a better team next year. New system for Daniels. McLaurin should have a bounce back season as well. So we're high in Daniels. He has got that insane rushing upside like no other. So yeah, but he's under Lamar Jackson, of course, just because of Lamar's ceiling and how good Lamar really can be at fantasy. Lamar's got to stay healthy, man. That's really it.
All right, and a massive thing now for Daniels is that they just signed Stephon Diggs. So this offense is actually going to have a second weapon compared to where they had Noah Brown and Zach Ertz these last couple of years. So I really do think that Daniels is primed to be a top 3 quarterback this year for fantasy.
Yeah, like you said about the Diggs coming in, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable now. Jane Daniels throwing in multiple options. Like the receiver two was like Antonio Williams or a bunch of other scrubs they had back there. A couple rookies with upside, but now they have a true proven Stephon Diggs, who I think he's still got a lot of football left in him. Not an all pro like he was back in the day, but definitely a solid receiver two behind Terry McLaurin.
Coming in as our QB4, we got Jalen Hurts. And last year, we saw this Eagles offense look the worst it's really ever had. And that was really because of their OC, Kevin Patullo. And now with new OC, Sean Mannion, I really do expect this offense to look way better than it was last year. It's really coming from the Shanahan tree now, this offense. So I do expect Jalen Hurts to look much better in the passing game, which can hopefully, get him back to this top 5 range where it really dropped down last year, only averaging 18 points per game. One red flag is that they did lose A.J. Brown in the offseason, but they also did bring in rookie Mekhi Lemon and rookie Eli Stowers to help minimize that loss.
Yeah, they also brought in Hollywood Brown. They brought in Wicks, who Wicks is getting a lot of hype around training camp. But my biggest thing about Hurts, why I have him ranked 4, is because I think with Sean Mannion's offense, he's going to run a lot more. Like last season, he had career lows in everything rushing. He had 400 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. That's not like Jalen Hurts. We're used to seeing around 600, 700 yards with 10 plus touchdowns on the ground. He barely ran the ball. And I remember people talking about that. Like, is Hurts running less? Yes, he ran less all last season. And the passing is always going to be Hurts' weak side and downside. But if he gets the rushing that really raises his floor and helps him out to really be inside the top 5 quarterbacks.
It's all about the touchdowns for him, man. If he gets that 10, 12 touchdowns, that boosts him so much more. And the reason why he's still an elite fantasy quarterback.
Okay, and our QB5 is Drake May.
I'm with Drake, man. We have him QB5, but last year he was the quarterback too. But the only reason why we have him QB5 is because we have the guys like Lamar, Jane Daniels, and Jalen Hurts all bouncing back, in our opinion, this season. But Drake May was one of the best passers in all of football last year with about 4,400 yards and led the league in completion percentage. But now the offense got even better. They got 2 good receivers now, Ronald Dobbs and A.J. Brown, which make the passing attack even better than it was last season. And Drake May is always going to have his use on the ground with about 500 yards last year, and I expect the exact same. And Drake May is in store for a perfect QB5 finish, maybe even higher.
All right. And moving on, our QB6 is Joe Burrow.
So we know what Joe Burrow could be when he's healthy, man. It's all about health for him. And back in 2024, when he was fully healthy, he averaged almost 22 points per game. That's elite. Getting him around the 6th, 7th round this year, I think is a crazy steal. It just shows how many elite quarterbacks in the NFL there really are. And yeah, I mean, if you can get Jamar Chase at the 103 and get Burrow in that 6th round, I feel like it's such a good steal for your team. And I mean, it's all about, I said before, health, man. Burrow stays healthy. He's a top 5 finish lock, I believe.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it really is about the health. In the last full season in 2024, we saw him average 22 points per game, one of the MVP frontrunners. So it really is just about health. And even if he can have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the field too, I know T. Higgins is a big question mark, but if he can have both of those stud receivers, he's going to be one of the elite quarterbacks this year. And I can honestly see him winning MVP in real life.
Yeah.
All right, starting off our C tier, we got Justin Herbert. And last year in the games that Justin Herbert was playing in with Joe Alt, he averaged over 20 points per game. And now he's also getting Rashawn Slater back. So with this offensive line being fully healthy, and now with the new OC, Mike McDaniel, going from Greg Roman, I really do think the sky is the limit, and this offense could be so good. And as we said before, we want to have parts and pieces of this offense because of how good we think it's going to be this year.
Yeah, and the Chargers are going to bank on a lot of explosive plays under Mike McDaniel. And we even saw Herbert run more last year in a way. He had career highs in all rushing except for touchdowns, where he had 500 yards on the ground. We haven't seen that with Herbert throughout his entire career. And maybe it stays the same in this offense, but Herbert will use his legs as he was very usable and he was very efficient on the ground last year. And I expect the same.
And now behind this even better, way better offensive line than last year, he has those foot injuries a lot. And I feel like that could definitely help him with that, staying safe in the pocket, having way more time, and just being a better overall football player than he's been in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, if Herbert doesn't get, like you said, Herbert, he's been getting banged up something every single year, like always a broken finger or an ankle or something like that. If he stays healthy, if we get a true clean season from Justin Herbert, he'll definitely be higher than QB8.
Yeah.
QB7, sorry.
Okay, and our QB8 is Trevor Lawrence.
And with Trevor Lawrence last year, towards the end of the season, he popped off and was a big reason for this team going 13-4 in the first year under Liam Cohen. He was a 4,000-yard passer, threw about 30 touchdowns. But what helped him a lot is he was good running the ball. He had 9 rushing touchdowns last season, and that boosted a lot of his fantasy value. And I expect it to be the exact same. He's been really good with he's been one of the quarterbacks that gets pushed into the 1 yard line, jumps over, and the rushing touchdown should stay the exact same and kind of sets up to being a safe floor. And we've seen all last year, towards the end of the season, he had upside. He was scoring like 30 points for a couple of weeks in a row. It kind of shocked us. And I think here's a hot take. There's an outside chance that Trevor Lawrence can be finishing inside the top 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, they really do have a great receiving room with Liam Cohen there as their head coach as well, calling the plays. I mean, they have Brian Thomas Jr., who we expect to bounce back from this year. They have Parker Washington, who was great to end the year, and they traded for Jacoby Myers. And that's also not to say that Travis Hunter, I'm sure, will be playing some offense throughout the year, of course. So, I mean, he has all the weapons to do it. I mean, they're all great guys for him to throw the ball to. So I really do think Trevor Lawrence does have upside for more here.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
definitely.
I mean, when we're talking about weapons the Jaguars have from a fantasy standpoint, it's not that fun to talk about. When we're talking about for Trevor Lawrence standpoint, he's got weapons everywhere. They got 4 solid options. I think Brenton Strange is the top is progressing as one of the better tight ends in football, and he has a lot of options to throw the ball to. It's going to help him a lot.
If I want anyone in this Jaguars offense, it's either Lawrence or Tootin. Those receivers are going to help him so much. I can see all of them hovering around that 700, 800 yard mark, which it just could mean that Lawrence is going to get over 4,000 yards this year if he stays healthy. And that rushing upside, as you said, is elite.
Okay, and our QB9 is Caleb Williams.
Williams broke out last year in 2025, finishing as the quarterback 7 last year. That was his first year with Ben Johnson. I really can see him improving, especially with the weapons this team has with top guy Colson Loveland, who we love this year. We don't really like Burden, but he's definitely improving. Odunze too. All these young guys that really can help out Williams. And this offense is going to be very good this year. I can see them losing more games, which would cause Williams to throw a little more. And yeah, he also is a good rushing quarterback as well. And QB9 is the perfect spot for Williams, another elite quarterback in this great season of very good quarterbacks in 2026.
Do you think there's an opportunity here for Caleb Williams to take another jump in year 3, another season under Ben Johnson, and like you said, these great weapons with Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland? I really do think there's a chance that he can be a top 5 quarterback this year, especially if we see him have to pass more. Where they were really run heavy last year because they were in a lot of close games. So if they're down more and their defense got much worse compared to where it was last year, they lost a lot of guys in free agency. I really do think he can get to that 4,000 passing yard mark and be a great fantasy quarterback option for you.
I think that'll be the
Yeah,
first time in
Williams,
Bears history, 4,000 yards.
the thing with Caleb Williams is he also has to get better. Like he has to be better completing passes. He only completed passes at 58% last year. If that number goes higher, he can easily throw for a lot more yards and have a lot more touchdowns because we saw some bad misses out of Caleb Williams last year. And if he improves those over training camp and throughout the season, I mean, truly, I can see him as a mid 4,000 yard passer, and why not? He's got the talent to do it. He's got to improve the misses.
All right, and finishing off our C tier, we got Jackson Dart as our QB10. And great news to start training camp is that Malik Neighbors has avoided training camp PUP list, so that is great news to start. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be on the field for week 1. It is good news that he's probably going to be avoiding the first 4-week PUP list. But I mean, that's not even the red flags here. I really think the bad thing is Matt Nagy's offense. I'm not too confident in Matt Nagy. I mean, we saw these last 3 years when he was with Patrick Mahomes. He was really a terrible fantasy quarterback, right? In the season right before they had Matt Nagy as their OC, Patrick Mahomes won the MVP. So I just think they're going to be very run heavy. I don't think Matt Nagy's a good play caller, so there are definitely some red flags here to where I could actually see Dart going farther down this list.
Always the concussion risks too with Dart, and I wonder how much they're going to run him this year because I feel like last year they kind of ran him a lot more than they should have. It did work out, but you have to look out for the long term of Jack and Dart's future, and I hope that they run him enough, but not too much where he's missing games, get concussions right and left.
100%.
All right, and starting off our D tier, we got Dak Prescott as our QB11.
What's there not to like about Dak Prescott? He's got 2 solid receivers, a solid running back, and he's playing in a top 5 offense. But you know what you're going to get out of Dak Prescott. You're going to get nothing on the ground. You're going to get everything all through the air. And if we see another fully healthy season from Dak, where last year he threw for 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns. Incredible. Especially in this offense under Schottenheimer is very explosive. And I expect it to be the exact same, and it could even be better in a way. If we get a fully healthy version of CeeDee Lamb, I mean, truly, I think Dak can go back to his 2019 self in a way where he threw for almost 5,000 yards. I mean, why can he? This defense still sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not good. And yes, they made some improvements, but the Cowboys are pretty much going to be like the Bengals again, having to play perfect on offense every single game to give this team a chance to win. And I think Dak is a perfect option. He's a quarterback with upside, and you can get him late in drafts.
My only knock on Prescott is that he just has no rushing upside. If you're not getting anything rushing from him compared to where all these guys ahead, except for really Burrow, you're getting that rushing upside from all of them. So that's the only thing about Dak is I don't think he has top 5 upside because he just isn't going to run and get you those extra points scrambling.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
a good
great
point.
point
The
you
only way
made.
you're going to get a top 5 upside out of Dak is if he's throwing for 5,000 yards, like he did in 2019.
There's a great point you made, John, with the defense. That defense is really bad. And it's going to force them to stay in the field. It's going to force that entire offense to stay in the field and get those maybe garbage time points, but those come from behind points that really can help out Prescott's yardage wise and all through the air.
Garbage time points are big things. I mean, we saw Jacoby Brissett average 20 points per game last year with the Cardinals when they were down in the fourth quarter in every single game.
Yep.
All right, and finishing off our D tier in our rankings, we got Brock Purdy as our QB12.
So our last guy, Brock Purdy. Same thing with him. A lot of these guys, if they just stay healthy, man. If Purdy, when in Purdy's healthy games last year, he averaged over 20 points per game. I mean, it also depends on the Niners team too to stay healthy. We know McCaffrey. McCaffrey's in that even year where it could be like, ooh, he was healthy last year. This year he can fall off a cliff, whatever. And also we see Pearsall out for the year, and Evans too. Evans getting old, he can get injured too. That's the only knock with Purdy, but otherwise he's such an elite player. And if these options all stay healthy, I mean, it's literally the limit is he could be a top 5 quarterback. I think he also is not bad on the ground. He's not like these guys like Prescott who don't really run at all. He's like that. I'd say like in the middle of the pack, average runner. That definitely can get some rushing touchdowns, win you those games, and the upside is there. He can average 20 points. They just have to stay healthy, the whole team and him including.
Yeah, we definitely saw Purdy run more at the end of the year last year. So it really just depends on if his weapons can stay healthy. If we were to see Evans with the quad up in the injury report, and can Kittle come back from the Achilles tear? How is he going to perform? When is he going to play? I mean, those are really the two main things for me.
And Purdy's weapon just got to stay healthy. Like you brought up before, the weapons stay healthy. Not a doubt in my mind, Purdy's going to have a great season. But if the weapons start going down, you're playing with a bunch of backups. Could get rough for Purdy, and that's when we've seen Purdy at his worst. But I truly hope the offense can stay healthy, and we really will see a lot of great football play from Brock Purdy this year.
I also love the signing of Deebo Samuel. I really think he's going to be something for this offense. I can really see him coming back to what we've seen in the past. Not exactly what we've seen, not as good. But if there's some injuries in this team, let's say if Kittle's down for the first few weeks, and we know Pearsall's gone, as I said, I really could see Deebo being a very good, viable option for your fantasy team. And we could talk about that in future videos. But I mean, I really like him this year, and he's going. What is he going right now? He's going undrafted probably. So yeah, I really love him this year.
Yeah, Debo started off the season actually really good last year, surprisingly, after everyone
Yeah.
thought his career is basically over.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Those are our updated top 12 quarterbacks for the 2026 season. Hope to see you in the next one. Make sure you click on all our videos, subscribe to all our socials, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and we'll see you in the next one.